There's no High Templar currently at that 3 o'clock, and with that crackling upgrade, if the lurkers can just provide some room for those zerglings, those cracklings to run in, he can take down that Nexus extremely rapidly, and you can see how fast those cannons get taken out just with a couple. That wasn't even, what was that, 8 zerglings on those cannons at that stage, and almost immediately able to take them down. So yeah, we'll see how this works. I think bisu does kind of have a whiff of this, though. I think he knows what's coming, just because first of all, it's a heavy zergling composition too. He just kind of knows what's up, and also I feel like that kind of encourages more zealots, when zealots definitely help out against this. Savior now trying to take the 1 o'clock as well, but actually it looks like Savior's kind of switched back into more of a passive game, which kind of surprises me. So it looks like he's actually going to use the Defiler Lurker Ling combination to provide a little bit more of latent defense and make sure that bisu can't basically press against him at this stage of the match. But I don't know that that's. We'll see if that pays off. He is going to stay a little bit economically ahead. Between losing all those units at that 12 o'clock, though, I still feel like bisu is going to be in a really good position economically. It looks like he's ahead as far as upgrades go. He's got that level 2 weapons ahead of that level 1 Carapace, which is usually the case in Protoss versus Zerg. But here we're seeing, and now this is the indication. Is he going to go ahead and go with the attack, or is he going to play a little bit more defensively here? There's the swarm, but he doesn't have any lurkers here, and it's almost all zealots. Almost all zealots leading here, so that swarm did absolutely nothing with that attack for us. It looks like a counterattack coming across. I think there's some High Templar to deal against this, and let's see if he doesn't even need to use swarm though, because he's got a nice protected front door and some zealots working against that. That Defiler caught a little bit out in the open. There's that swarm to draw that attack force back, but again, I wonder how long this is going to be effective against bisu, because bisu can just keep running forward. If he can pick off a couple of these zerglings, actually, that's going to be less feeder for those defilers to get the mana back, and it almost feels like it's kind of a yeah, he's going to be able to defend that 1 o'clock, but in the meantime, he's not putting any pressure on bisu, while bisu can go take a 4th base and able to, oh, nice plague, able to get a couple of dragoons and 1 zealot. That'll definitely soften them up, and especially with the cracklings, that'll provide some assistance. But bisu does not, I feel like bisu, even though it's 4 base for Savior, he just doesn't have very good drone saturation. Bisu now getting a lot more Corsairs, producing a pretty large Corsair army to kind of supplement this, and now on that corner edge, I don't know that Savior's going to have enough to counter this. Big army at this 3 o'clock, and with some swarm, should be able to take that out, actually. At least the 2 cannons might be able to get the Nexus on top of it. A couple zealots underneath, but the zealots, I think those are weak zealots, and it looks like, yeah, actually bisu going to get some Archons out in time, but losing a lot of probes, a lot of units here at this 3 o'clock, so now he actually needs those Corsairs to produce for him, and so needs to get it done, and it might be successful. Some nice Side Storm of a counterattack toward that 9 o'clock position. You can see the swarm protecting. Those Dragoons do absolutely nothing when that swarm's in there, and there are some Dark Templar that have been supplemented in this force, so big Corsair army. I think he's waiting for a weapons 1 upgrade on those Corsairs before doing anything with them, but you can see absolutely no anti-air. Basically, Savior is, with this Lurker-Ling combination, he doesn't have the gas to, especially with the Defilers, has no gas to invest in Scourge to counter the Corsairs, and that's a large enough Corsair force, which he's going to be able to work against Scourge. Even if he goes Ultralisk, Savior I don't think has a hint of this tech switch, and I don't think he's going to be able to stop the Corsairs from just absolutely marauding everything. So now wandering up, going to lose 2 Overlords right there, and now I think here comes the pain, and how quickly, this is going to be the big indicator for Savior, is how quickly he can adjust to these Corsairs wandering all over the map and destroying everything. A couple Zerglings flooding in, able to stop only 1. Oh, Defiler able to catch 1 Corsair, but not much else. Going to try to engage, maybe catch some more. Does plague all of the Corsairs there, but still no anti-air. Dark Templar able to stop another expansion in that top right, and right now you can see they're just looking for Overlords, because those Dark Templar are going to have free reign as they come across in the meantime, and there's no latent detection. Trying to get a creep colony. There is an Overlord to the north, right there spotting it. Let's see if those Corsairs can cycle back to the northern position to try to take care of that. Not able to do so. The Dark Templar is still somehow alive, and now Dark Templar actually wandering at each base, and with that weapons 2 upgrade over the Carapace, they're still going to be able to one-shot those drones, once again emptying, and oh, a lot of those Overlords going to get picked right there, and this is where bisu shines, is just having the multitasking, where you can just have Overlords everywhere, the Corsairs everywhere, the Dark Templar everywhere. Right now he's microing in 3 different arenas and macroing simultaneously, and yeah, this is really where if he's going to do his damage, where he can get it done, and it looks like he's going to take that inside 6 in the meantime. killing that Scourge before it's able to move around, and just killing a ton of these Overlords. It does manage to take one Corsair, but really it's not enough, and this is gas that Savior really wanted to spend on. Oh, it looks like he did manage to take out a couple more Corsairs right there, but this is gas again that he's having to spend on Scourge, where he really wanted to be spending it on things like Ultralisk. So more Zerglings moving into that 9 o'clock though, so let's see if bisu, he does have some Zealots, but between that crack and what else not, looks like he was able to pick that Nexus off just because they can move in and kill that so rapidly. So Savior's still keeping in this match, and I think it's really tight at this stage. So Savior obviously taking a lot of economic damage from those Corsairs and just getting kind of caught off guard with it. But at the same time, he was able to stop that 3 o'clock, and now he's still running. He didn't lose a lot of drones in that. He did have some disruption, but he only lost, I think, 4 or 5 drones. But bisu, in the meantime, has a pretty sizable army. It looks like bisu is just content to distance mine with the probes he has left while he's morphing the rest of that in. Still, let's see if he's able to press forward. Looks like he's just going to try to Psystorm and catching a lot of those Scourge in the Psystorm to try to breach this bridge. I don't even think, I'm not seeing an observer actually. Okay, never mind, there is an observer to the back of that army, but still with that swarm, Savior's doing an excellent job of basically controlling the map and playing a little bit more like a Protoss player would at this stage, which is playing kind of the defensive mass game. And let's see if it's going to last for him to get to Ultralisk. I still feel like he's having to invest a lot in a lot of the gas heavy units, the Defilers, the Lurkers, the Scourge, and but it looks like he has managed to get some Ultralisks out. Savior trying to get positioned so he can basically take up residence to that top right and simultaneously attack. Not a very good play there. Only got up 5 Zealots, which isn't really what he's aiming for. Did manage, okay, getting more with that. That's definitely going to help with those Ultralisks out in the field. And the Corsairs, once again, being fielded, going to be able to take out a couple Overlords. Let's see if we're going to see some. The Scourge moving that direction. Will bisu respond in time? Looks like he's not, and he's going to end up losing a lot of those Corsairs. So pretty big success there, even with the weapons one actually. So pretty big success, and another attack moving in here to the 6 o'clock. Doesn't look like Savior's going to get a lot accomplished with that. So I almost feel like Savior, if he's going to get it done, he's got to do it now. Otherwise, bisu's just going to have enough of an economy, even off these 3 bases and the damage he's done with those Corsairs, to really accomplish a lot. But and it looks like he's going to back off. He just, again, I feel like he had too much invested with the Scourge. Never mind, he's got more Ultralisks than I thought he had. So let's see if he can get the Ultra Swarm. But he's got to be aggressive. He can't. Okay, he did manage to catch bisu exactly where he wanted him to, right here in this location, having to cancel an expansion right there. But the thing is at this stage, Savior needs to be basically depicting where the battles are happening, depicting the play, and it looks like he is going to be able to do some damage here at that 3 o'clock. But Luke going to end up losing his Ultralisks there at the 9 o'clock, and running in might be able to take that Nexus out again, but nothing to stop bisu as he's running in. So it's going to be looks like a base trade, and this sort of base trade where it's basically your main or some of your more important tech units, it's actually going to work out in bisu's favor. So it looks like Savior's going to be able to take that 3 o'clock, but with all the Ultralisks and all the Zealots and wow, a lot of observers, absolutely everything just completely running in. Oh man, that is a huge Protoss army. A couple looks like observers getting knocked out, but that looks like it's just too many Archons. Finally the Lurkerlings trying to come back around, but Savior does not have enough to stop bisu from rolling into his natural secondary. Yeah, it doesn't have anything here to stop him. Too many Archons, too many Ultras, too many Dragoons. Observers are just kind of checking out what's happening to the north. Yeah, that's a swarm there, but it's really not going to help him all that much against all those Archons, especially with just so few Ultralisks. And there's still the Corsairs wandering out in the field. They must be just chuckling to themselves here. And now that when drones are coming off the line to try to attack Archons, that's always a bad situation. A Dark Templar to the 1 o'clock position, just running around and actually, never mind. Okay, that's actually the top left base. I thought he was at the 12 o'clock position for a second there. And now Savior is going to have to GG. bisu coming right back in this. Ended up losing that 3 o'clock, but just able to sacrifice that base to get position, just roll over this. And that's it. Savior, whatever economy he had, just doesn't have any of it now, losing his hatcheries, throwing out Zerglings, and the Zerglings just melting so quickly. Look how quick those die to those Archons. He still has that 1 o'clock base, he still has that 12 o'clock base, but in the meantime bisu is able to take several expansions. He's going to be able to rebuild that army, no trouble, and it looks like Savior's going to end up losing all of his tech. So Savior once again falling to his arch nemesis here, and you can see kind of the screen face. No, don't catch me. Actually, I'm not sure why she decided to hide her face. Whatever. Rather attractive person. You never know. Anyway, upper left-hand base, that Hive going to get taken out. That Spire going to get taken out. 1 Ultralisk popping just to absolutely get annihilated. Only 4 Zerglings there to take out all those cannons. Now, I don't even think there's a Defiler there to support. Savior should have GG'd a while ago. Not sure why he's sticking around in this match. Maybe because it's the MSL, trying to rebuild his Ultralisk Cavern, but I don't even think he's going to get the supply with the Overlords between that and the Corsairs to really deal with it. The Scourge getting picked out in the air as soon as they're produced. Yeah, there's 2 Overlords over there, but that's it. And Bisu's going to have something like 400 supply. That's right, he's broken the supply cap all of a sudden to go against the 10 supply. It looks like there was actually a swarm at the 6 o'clock location, but Zealot's there in time to save it. Ultralisk Cavern not even going to be produced. Spawning Pool still not going to be produced. Right now, Savior can't even produce attack units. He's going to produce drones to try to attack, and there's finally the GG. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Bisu taking over, going to be able to beat Savior and move into the final match where he's going to be facing Bogus. Thanks for listening.